Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be taking a quick peek into one of these products that I've had in my closet for some time now. My name is Sam and I want us to talk about the camera that is really changing the way I do my production and for the past few years now, Blackmagic Studio Camera series. And I'm going to be in particularly talking about the Blackmagic Studio Camera 6K Pro, which we have the pleasure of displaying for you guys, so you guys can take a look at this beautiful camera. So this is one of those products of Blackmagic. It's one of the series that was initially produced in the 2023, but again, it's still that go-to camera when it comes to studio production. And in a short while, I'll be reviewing some of the features that I think are really great. Having used this camera for some time, I think now I'm confident I have a lot to say about this particular camera. And so I wanted to just take time to show you exactly what I have with me and what I use this camera for. And in particularly, what I find is very interesting with this particular camera. Why is it the go-to camera whenever you want to, do your stuff? So first things first, this camera was built for live production. So if you're going to be doing any live production within a studio environment, this is the camera that you want to make sure you have with you. So it comes with that cinematic images that you can only find in live production, and the camera can help you generate those cinematic images. It uses a variety of lenses, and you can see depending on what you're going to be using the camera for, if you're going to require like the power zoom and all that, autofocus, then that the lenses that you're going to be using. Otherwise, you can use all the several EF mount related lenses. I use my EF lens because my camera is for EF mount, but I decided I use both the servo lens. Once in a while, I have those Canon 18 to 80 and the Canon 200, 70 to 200. I use them interchangeably with this particular camera. I have a bunch of this product, a lot of them. And the one I'm actually shooting from is actually a 6K right now, but it's using the Canon 24 to 105 lens, so it's slightly smaller lens and cheaper. But again, you can use a variety of lenses here. So this camera can really do much for your production workflow. And today I wanted us to just go through this, this camera that everybody has been talking about. Now, the first thing here is this very large 7-inch viewfinder. The 7-inch viewfinder allows it's actually touchscreen, so you can actually go in and look at the settings and configure everything right from that particular screen here. This is a super cool, addition to the camera. Other than that, you have those special controls on the right side of the camera that can control like the brightness of the screen, the contrast and packing and so on. That will be on the one side. And now, if you go to the other side of the camera, you'll see PGM, so you can see your program feed. At all, if, for example, I wanted to, if I'm a camera person and I want to just see what's actually streaming, I would simply just, double tap on that, and it will show actually what's being streamed at that particular time. And again, to just exit out of it, you can simply tap once, and you go back to the camera view, and you can be able to see what your camera is supposed to be showing you. Pretty cool camera, physical touchscreen controls. Those physical controls are super cool. I like the on and off button, and though sometimes I feel like, it doesn't really, maybe the way it's just built, the camera would still turn on even when you have it on off. So maybe that's a firmware issue, or just the way the on and off button works. It's a little bit funny, and initially I didn't know until I got used to it that that's how it works. My favorite, the tally light. So the tally light on air status is very, very important. And when you're shooting your live, when you're doing your live production, you want your subject to know that they're actually in focus and which camera they're looking at. And so this tally light comes in handy. So it has a front tally light and the back tally light right here for the camera person. So the camera person will be able to see if the tally light changes. So when I switch this camera to make it the camera view, then the tally light will actually change from green to red. So this is actually configured in the camera settings, and you can be able to configure that. Super cool camera again. It has that what we call the talkback. If you look at the side of the camera, we're going to come back and talk about all this. We have that connector that allows you to either plug in your headphones directly through that professional or consumer broadcast level connector, or you can use the small 3.5 millimeter headphone jack right there and microphone. And that allows you to actually, have that talk back with the director. So the director can talk to you, from the control room. If you're the one, maybe the camera to face another subject, then they can, talk about that. So I've used several models of this lineup of cameras, including studio camera, 4K series, but I wanted to really just, the opinion that I'm sharing today is my honest opinion because I've been a user for this product. And so I think the first thing I want to say is that this camera is actually a very powerful tool for live production. If you're going to be streaming in a college, university, you're having a live broadcast in church, studio environment, then this is the camera you want to go for. Now, it's not a technical review because I can't say I'm really a technical person when it comes to cameras. I'm actually in the tech, but in the IT world, not in the camera world. So this is actually a new thing to me. But one thing that I immediately liked about the Blackmagic camera, it does not look like the traditional mirrorless camera. So the way it looks, it's super cool. It feels like a real broadcast camera. It's actually designed with the purpose built in for live production. Talk about the ND filters. You can actually control the ND filters from inside your camera. You can actually flip through and change through the ND filters electronically from just by pressing one of these buttons on the side there, and you're able to control the ND filters. This is cool, man. I personally use this camera for a number of reasons. I use it for live streaming, studio production, I build content for education. I'm a professor, and so I use this pretty much to teach my students and to generate content for my students. Other than that, we also use it in church events, YouTube productions, and just professional presentations. And honestly, this is where the camera shines most. It's not just a cinema camera that you can rig on your neck, on your shoulder and run with it, but it's designed specifically for production workflow. When it comes to image quality, there is no camera that beats this camera, especially the Blackmagic products. We have other cameras which share the same image quality, like this is a Pocket Cinema 6K Pro G2, which is pretty much the same quality. But this camera here, when it comes to the studio production or live production, then nobody beats this camera in terms of the quality, the build quality, and even the picture quality. So let's talk about the image quality now that I have mentioned the quality. Let's talk about the image quality and what we expect. Now, Blackmagic always is very strong when it comes to image quality and picture quality. So the cameras always feature these cinematic sensors, and you'll see that it has up to about 13 stops of dynamic range with high ISO. So even that means that in low lights, this camera still is able to provide you with that impressive performance, even when there's low light conditions. So this is a very good thing, especially in a studio. It will give you that cinematic depth when it comes to your images and that professional look that many people are looking for in their production, and they don't get it, you know. And the other thing I like about this camera is it can integrate with with a lot of those series of switches and the ATEM switches, especially if you're using, for example, the 4K8, you'll be able to, you know, use this on other switches as well. Personally, I use this particular camera with a switcher, and I've always enjoyed using this camera with these switches. So other than these switches, we also use it on a number of, you can use it with other switches that you may have, but in particular for my workflow, I use 4K8 because pretty much it gives us, you know, what really we are looking for, you know, with the additional controls, and you can control the cameras directly from the switcher. You can do a little bit more program return, color shading, and all that can be done with those Blackmagic. So with this, I get camera control, I get tally light, I get the talkback, I get the program return, and I'm going to show you how that really integrates. So we don't make this video so long, I'll try to just rush through a number of things. So that means that during production, somebody can simply sit at the switcher and remotely control this camera. So you can actually control without touching the actual camera. You don't have to touch the camera. You just need somebody just in case. But you don't have to, you know, that's so huge for production. That means, you know, sometimes you're just a solo producer and you just want to have all the controls within your fingertips. So the fact that you can control this camera directly from your ATEM switcher is such a big thing, you know, such a big thing for you. The other thing is anyone who's building professional multicam studio ecosystems is honestly one of those biggest reasons why you want to think about investing in Blackmagic. And again, these products are built for the future. You know, with the changing technologies, this is where you want to go. Now, let's look at the camera itself on the side. So I'll start with the audio side, and then I'll go back to the other side and just share with you what we have on this particular camera. So on the left side, if I may take this as my left side actually, we have the audio input. So we have the audio in for 1 and 2. We have audio in, another audio in as well. So we have 2 audio ins. This allows you to add audio, you know, low noise audio input with even phantom power. So if you had like a microphone that has phantom power, you can actually power it and be able to change that in the settings. If you go to the audio settings, you can actually add the phantom power if you want to add your audio controls within there. So you can do that. The other thing I like is there are 2 USB-C ports. So the 2 USB-C expansion slots, you can use one for recording. For example, if you have a hard drive like this, an SSD, you could simply plug this in one of the ports and be able to record with that. Alternatively, the other port, you can use it to add the additional accessories which I have with these cameras. Especially when you use this camera in the live production, you want to be very precise when it comes to focus. And so you want to add a focus control to allow you adjust the focus for the camera, especially if you have a cine lens or any other lens that can support, you know, or power control. You can also daisy chain the focus with the zoom on demand. With the zoom on demand, pretty much helps you zoom. And when I zoom, you can actually see that my lens is actually changing. You could see that my lens is actually changing when I'm zooming. And I could actually increase the speed of my zoom. And when I do that, you could see now my lens is actually moving much faster than it was initially. And I could blast the speed all the way. Now you can see it's going to move like it's really fast. So that is what I'm talking about right here. You know, having the right lens and matching it with this magic camera is going to change the way your production works. Now, other than that, we have the headphone jack. The headphone jack, we have two of them. We have an option for the consumer headphones, which is like the grade that is used in the production, that supports talkback and everything. You can connect it. Alternatively, on the bottom here, we have the two connectors for the headphones as well, so you can use that. So we have the talkback, which is right there, and then we have the headphone jack underneath that there. We can also connect a 2.5 millimeter audio like this one that I'm using right now. I just plug it on the bottom part, and that allows me to monitor the audio in real time, so I can be able to listen to what is happening in my stream. If audio is coming in correctly, I'm able to hear that on real time. Guys, this is super cool camera. Let me just flip the camera to the other side so you guys can take a look at the camera. So on this other side we have, this is where all the connections are happening. This is where we have the HDMI cable or the HDMI port. So the HDMI port is the one on the very top. It allows you to bring in the camera video to your output, to your switcher. It outputs in Ultra HD or HD. So it's about 1080 or 720, anything there. But if you want a 4K out, then you want to use the SDI out. So the SDI out is going to give you that crispy camera video and audio. And also the talkback is going to do that. Then we have the SDI in. So the SDI in is the way the switcher talks to the camera. So that means you can use your ATEM switcher to send your signals or program return to the camera, the tally. We're talking about camera control. All that can be returned using that port, the SDI in. That's massive. That's beautiful. This camera is 6K, bro. It's one of those cameras you want. So that means the picture quality can actually scale to a 6K. Just below that, we have the Ethernet port. The Ethernet port. Many people are wondering, what do we have the Ethernet port for in this camera? To connect the camera to power. We can use the same port. We can use the Ethernet port to connect the camera to where we can connect the camera to power, and also just provide controls to the camera, and everything else that we are doing with these two SDI cables can be done by that. But you need additional hardware. You will need what we call the Blackmagic camera converter. So the camera converter will be able to take the HDI input and output from your switches, and then also give you a feed that will come into your network that you're going to push to the camera. Now, let's move down a little bit. We have the DC port, 2.12 volts DC. It's actually a barrel. So it's a barrel with a lockable screw right there, and that means you can lock it. It has this lockable screw that you can, lock it in, and so even if somebody steps on it by mistake, it's not going to lose power. So we also have the broadcast power, which you can get from a broadcast power supply or battery. That can also go in right underneath that. Now, we see there is also what we call the gain control, or the gain, the gain button there, which is another thing altogether. So this is a cool camera, guys. If you haven't used this camera, you will not appreciate what this camera can do. But again, in terms of connectivity and workflow, I really appreciate the fact that there's several options. There's several ways that you can connect your camera. You can use the SDI, you can use HDMI, there's Ethernet connectivity, there's USB-C recording, or you have the XLR audio inputs and talkback system. So all these are ways that you can connect to this particular camera system. Guys, I love this camera and I've used it. I did not get paid with Blackmagic to talk about the camera, but let me talk about the audio real quick. I know guys are wondering, how do we get studio quality audio on this particular camera? So this particular camera actually comes already with some great audio. Oh, the audio side is actually because the camera, is able to take in like the professional XLR audio and support the pro models, and it's actually very excellent. So all you need to do is to get a microphone and connect it to the audio input, a good microphone that will be able to give you crispy quality. And if you want to provide phantom power, the camera will be able to provide that for you. So this is a cool camera. I want you to, if you haven't looked at this camera, again, it's one of those cameras that you want to have in your production line, especially if you're going to be, doing the live production. So the camera allows you to connect from the USB-C. You can actually connect your cell phone and be able to stream directly from this camera. So you can stream, you can just take the camera with your cell phone, connect it, and enter your streaming destination in the setup. And once you do that, you are able to actually stream directly from this camera to the world. So you can stream from the camera to YouTube, you can stream to Facebook directly, and they already preloaded the settings so you don't have to change. Just put in the streaming key, and that's all you need to do, and you're good to go. You can actually stream with this camera while you're out. So when you're going to do that, you need a camera, you need your cell phone, and the cell phone that has the ability to connect to the internet, and that is all you need to do, all right? So as you stream it, you can stream it to another streaming bridge. If you had a streaming bridge connected somewhere, I could be out as a reporter, get this to the streaming bridge address. The streaming bridge will connect to maybe a Constellation device, or if you have the switchers, then that will be able to get your feed to your studio for production and recording and so on and so on. All right, so it's one of the best cameras. Looking at it, I would think the other thing I want to say about the cameras is the wonderful ND filters that are built in. So you don't have to worry about placing the ND filters there. It's already inbuilt. So Blackmagic allows you to provide high quality remote controllable ND filters. This will allow you to quickly adjust the lighting conditions. If there are any issue with the lighting conditions, then we can easily get that addressed as soon as possible. All right, so this is what I wanted to say about this particular camera. For more information, more reviews, hopefully we can take a look at that in the future. But as I wind up, I added 2 accessories to the camera. So other than the lens, I also added the zoom on demand and the focus on demand. The reason is this is going to help me, to be able to, with precision, adjust the focus for the camera, or even if I want to zoom much quicker. The same thing I can still do with my switcher. My switcher has the zoom and the focus, and if I have a good lens like this, it should be able to allow me to do that. But sometimes you want to feel like that professional grade when you're zooming in and out like that. You want to be able to have full control, and so that can only happen if you're going to use the zoom and the focus on demand. So when I'm using the focus on demand here, you can see I'm actually adjusting the focus right there. You can actually see that on my camera lens. So you can see that adjusting. And when I'm using my zoom, which is right here, I can actually see my zoom, just moving down there. You can see that moving, and you can actually configure some of these guys to operate the way you want them to operate, these buttons, so they can do what you want them to do. Now, things that I feel could improve on this camera, maybe the Blackmagic may not want to hear this, but there are a few areas I think we can improve on this camera. First, the autofocus. I think some other product, the Sony, the Canon systems have really advanced on this. This camera needed to have autofocus. So that's another thing that I think Blackmagic should be, if you happen to watch this video in the future, just think about adding that autofocus. And then if you're mixing many third-party systems, you may need to add additional converters with this particular camera to just a workflow. And finally, when it comes to power management, and the accessories can become very, very expensive if you're building a full studio setup, because they're consuming a lot of power. But in overall, you get value for your money. You know, for $2,745 on B&H or any other store, you are getting really a steady camera that can serve you for the purpose, and the money will come back to you as soon as you start your live productions. So in overall, I genuinely think that the Blackmagic camera studio or studio camera lineup is actually one of the best solutions that Blackmagic has put out there, especially for live production, broadcast environment, the churches, the podcasts, the streamers, and multicam environment. So it combines both the cinematic image quality and the broadcast functionality that everybody is looking for. So guess what? If you're building a professional, studio environment and looking to move, from the basic setups to more broadcast quality, then this is probably the camera you want to have. Again, I want to tell you that if you're going to move from the SDI cables and just use a single cable, you may need a converter, and that converter is just, you can get a four port, which is a 211, is it 2011 or 2111P? The studio converter, that can allow you to have at least 4 connections. So that means you can connect 4 cameras on that converter, or you can buy the individual converter for each camera, and that option will also work. The other thing that I want to, if you're working in a studio setup, maybe if you're planning to use a green screen, so that means you need an you need some additional devices, to be able to, like the ultimate control will allow you to, get the blue screen cleaned up for you. But again, those features are already in your switchers if you want to manually work with them. But for me, it's easier to just get an ultimate, be able to, clean up the green screen, the background, and put any animated backgrounds or any videos on the background, and use those studio templates that are existing. Guys, that was it for me. See you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this particular video, and I'll see you in the next video.